Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, please subscribe. I would really appreciate that. And if you're returning, how are you today? I'm so glad you're back. In today's video, I want to talk about 20 winter homestead items that you should be stockpiling, or that it would be best if you stockpiled it, okay? And these are things that I have learned that I stockpile and that I'm just passing along to you. This is what I've been learning. Now, number one and number two are obvious, okay? Non-perishable foods of all different types and water. Number three would be firewood and fuel. Now, down here in Florida, it doesn't snow, but it does get god awful cold. It really, truly does. We live above the frost line, meaning it does get very, very cold. And the cold here may be different than the cold up north, but the cold here does hit your bones, if you know what I mean. I mean, it's, it literally, it gets down into the teens at night here. Okay, so yes, I have a fire pit out back. Yes, I do have firewood. My sister-in-law owns a tree company, so she sells cords of wood, of firewood. I don't have to buy it, but I'm just saying, But listen, firewood and fuel is very important. Lighting supplies like flashlights, okay, candles, lighters, matches, okay. The next one would be common household and personal supplies, like cleaning supplies and personal hygiene. Now, the next one is bedding, okay? Then laundry supplies, warm clothes, and this includes jackets, nice warm socks, hats, mittens, sweatpants, sweatshirts, turtlenecks, long johns, okay? All depending on where you live is really going to depend on what you buy. Like, we don't have long johns down here. Like, I've never had to buy them, but I remember when we lived up north, yeah, we wore them. You know what I mean? So it really all depends on where you live. The next one would be sand and shovels, even rock salt. Okay. The next one would be pet food supplies. Now, for yourself, when you're buying food and water, this is for just in case you get snowed in type thing. I would suggest about 3 weeks, maybe even 4 weeks of food and water. Also do the same for your pets, 3 to 4 weeks, okay? Especially if they're used to canned food instead of just dry food. Get them at least 3 to 4 weeks of canned food, okay? The next one on the list is a hand crank or battery powered radio, or even if it's solar, get a good radio. The next one is your first aid kit. Fill in the gaps with your first aid kit. Okay, make sure you have enough in your first aid kit for just in case, especially if you've got little ones that are rambunctious and they like to run around and they get injured easily. I know my 6-year-old nephew, he bounces off the walls. He really does. The next one would be OTCs and prescriptions. Make sure you get with your doctor to make sure you have at least a 90-day supply or even more. And make sure you have your OTCs because it's cold out. And say your kids are running in and out, going out playing in the snow, coming back into the warm environment. If you have your fireplace going or your heat on or whatever the case may be, they're going to get sick. So make sure you have like your Tylenol cold and flu, or, if you were like me and you only really take elderberry and vitamin C, make sure you have a good stock on that kind of stuff. All right. The next one, I know this is going to be, well, I can't really afford it, but a generator, because even with a blizzard, your power can go out. I'm sure you already know this by now, but just like with a hurricane or a tornado, if a tornado touches down, your power can go out, just like the same with a blizzard. All right. Now, The next one is to make sure your cars, your trucks, even your ATVs, make sure everything is gassed up. You don't want to have to try and bug out and then you only got a quarter tank. All right, so please make sure your cars are gassed up. All right. The next one on the list is plastic sheeting and duct tape. Regardless of how new your house is or how old your house is, I don't care. You could think that you have the best insulated house in the world. You're still going to have a draft. So my suggestion is to get some plastic sheeting. If you can't afford to go do plastic sheeting, just get some of the clear plastic shower curtains at dollar store and get some duct tape and it'll do the same thing. Put it over the window and it'll stop that draft from coming in, okay? And it'll stop the heat from going out as well. The next one would be bleach and a medicine dropper. Now, for water, all right? Now, if you only have access to, I don't want to say dirty water, but say it's unfiltered and you don't feel that it's drinkable and you can't boil it right away, okay? It only takes 8 drops, the medicine drops, 8 drops of bleach, plain Clorox bleach, not lemon scented or lavender scented or anything like that, plain bleach, 8 drops to clean a gallon of water. So you want to make sure you have bleach and a medicine dropper on hand, okay? The next one would be books and games, for you and the kids or whatever the case may be. All right. And then the next one would be paper products like toilet paper, paper towels, napkins, paper plates, cups, disposable utensils, that type of thing. And then the last one would be battery chargers for electronics. And then one thing that I do remember from living up north is even really down here, because we do get freeze warnings, is to always drip your faucets. And if you have a pool, run your filter overnight. I will never forget, it was about 10 years ago, we had gotten a really bad freeze down here in Tampa. And I kept telling my mother-in-law, because we don't have a pool. I didn't want one. I kept telling my mother-in-law, you better run that pool filter. You better run it. She didn't listen. What happened? It froze on her. And she had to have a new pool. What is the motor? The thing that runs it. It busted because she didn't run it. She had a lot of money. And the guy came out and told her, he said, well, what happened? She said, I don't know. And he goes, well, by the looks of it, we had a really bad freeze last night. Did you not run this? She said, no, why? He said, you're supposed to run your pool filter when we're having a deep freeze like that. He said, because this is what happens. And she called me. She said, I should have listened to you. I said, see, always run your pool filters. So I don't know if you guys do that up north, which I'm sure you do, but down here, they advise us to run your pool filters when we have a deep freeze, which we do get them a lot down here. We really do. All right, guys, that's all for this video. I love you. I'll see you in the next one. I'm getting cold. It's going down to 31 tonight. So I'm cold. I'll see you in the next one. Stay safe. Stay warm. Please. Keep prepping. Stay positive. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.